This is the SCP Fallen project by Team Remedy. I am Reed Mosley.
I am Ben Tidwell.
I'm Madison Yam.
I'm Ben Delapena.
So we'll get started. So the problem of our game that we created was kind of centered around there being a lack of indie SCP themed horror puzzle focused games. So there's a lot of horror games out there, there's a lot of indie horror games out there, but there's not a lot of SCP focused ones, and we thought that'd be a cool project to tackle. There's also a lot of games that aren't super easy to play for people that aren't very experienced with gaming in general. It's mostly just games that are lacking good tutorials and just throwing players into it a little too fast. There's also not enough full stack Lua built games, so us creating this project and releasing it publicly is helping developers that might want to use Lua or love 2D get some experience and see kind of what a project would look like. And then another big problem was all these new AAA games require intense systems to run. Our project is very low end, so we were solving that problem by making a game that's pretty easy for people with lower end computers and lower end systems to play. So some of our pain points, these are some user stories we had. The product owner wanted the game to have distinct goals in different areas so that the gameplay was not very linear and had multiple ways to play and to complete the story. And as an elderly game player, like I said, we wanted a game with a good tutorial so that the elderly people that want to maybe start learning how to game could learn how to play and wouldn't be confused with the controls. And then as a computer science gamer, we wanted to introduce a dev mode feature so that a player could see kind of what the world was built like and kind of what a hitbox was interacting with and just kind of a dev mode so that someone could kind of learn what the ins and outs of the game were.
So the technologies we used were Lua and GLSL, which are the languages we coded in. Then Love 2D is a 2D game dev platform for Lua. JSON is how we save and loaded files in our game by writing and reading the JSON files. Tiled is a free open sourced level editor, which we used for map development. And then bat to XC is it collects a bat file script and compresses all files within the directory to a single executable. This executable is recursively called the bat file. We use this to create our click to install binary release. So this is an example of our JSONs files. We used it to hold values like player positions, inventories, items positions, the date the game was saved, as well as other valuable points so that we could access it when you load the game. Technologies that didn't work well for us were many of the Lua built-in libraries like save, load, and UI because they were hard to navigate as well as they would give many bugs and the parameters and conditions didn't always line up with our game. Instead, we often coded our own classes and functions to play in place of those libraries.
Our main coding language that we used is Lua overall. We use this because it's a lightweight language. It's compiled through C, which is notoriously fast for memory management. It's a high-level language, so it's an interpreted language, but first compiled by bytecode, which is then run through the Lua virtual machine, which allows for the C compilation. It's a multi-paradigm language, provides a small set of general features that can be extended to fit different problem types, rather than providing complex and rigid specifications. And it's popular for embedding scripts for this reason. It allows users to exploit their data types, such as tables that can hold large amounts of data in tuples and other management ways, and increases the versatility of the language itself. We use GLSL as a secondary language. This was specifically for uh, the shaders in the game. It's a C-oriented language once again, but without the Lua virtual machine, it's much faster at running mathematical operations. It was created by Sony Pictures for their lighting and shading endeavors and animations. It quickly addresses applied linear algebra as we had to normalize and vectorize different vectors throughout the game so that we could give different visuals to the player as they opt in and out of flashlight and move around the map. No, we're going to go on to the demonstration now.
Alright, I'm now in the game. If I'm not too familiar with keyboard and mouse movements, the game tells me how I can move my player character. I can press W to walk upwards, S to walk downwards, and A and D to walk to the left and to the right. Here it says press escape to pause. When I do that, it comes up with a variety of different options. I think this music's a little too spooky for me, so I'm going to go into the settings and decrease the volume. I can return to the game by pressing return to pause menu and then return to game. What's this over to my right? It says press E to pick up. When I stand on top of an item and press E, I can see that it's added to one of my 2 inventory slots. This item is the flashlight. I can see that it also added a flashlight charge under this sprint bar. Here I can see that it says hold shift to sprint. When I hold shift, my character moves a lot faster, but I can see that this bar decreases. This shows me how long I can sprint for. I wonder who this guy is down here. It says press E to interact. When I interact with him, he can talk to me, and I can see that his name is Scientist. Here he's warning me about danger to come in the puzzles that I'm gonna have to complete. I don't want to spoil it too much, so I'm not gonna let him finish. There's been an arrow here that comes up when I stay in this room too long, pointing me in the direction to go. This is so that if people find it too difficult to move on to the next area, they can get a little bit of a hint to help them out. Alright, I'm now in the first level of the game. It's really dark, so I'm glad I picked up that flashlight earlier. Here, it says I can press F to use flashlight. When I press F, it shines the flashlight in the direction of my cursor. And I can see here that the flashlight charge goes down to show how long I can use the flashlight for. Let's see what I can find. I see a box over there. If I run into it, I can push it around. Let's see what else I can find. There's 2 more over here. Under that box, I found a battery. A battery is one of the items that you need in order to complete the first level in our game. These batteries are randomly generated around this map, so they can be difficult to find. If a player finds them too difficult, they can hold tab, which can lead them into the direction of one. There it is.
So some technology you can see in the second puzzle of the game are our enemy's system. So you can see that there's an eyeball, and he's going to kind of follow you around. Now we see that he's tracking us pretty well, and if you get out of his sight for too long, he'll kind of respawn closer to you. But he also cannot go over into the green slime, so you can kind of play around with him like this. Some other technology is the puzzle. So there's these wave manipulation stations. Now these are used to broadcast little waveforms, and you can change between them, which is really cool. And to solve the puzzle, you must access all 4 and change them to their correct waveform, which will unlock the gate at the end. Now, to not spoil the game, I'm just going to leave it at that, but we did want to showcase some of the potential of this room. And I'll also show you a little bit more about how the enemy works. So you can see if he gets closer to you and taps you, you'll take damage. Now, if you take too much damage, you will die. So you can see that this is our defeat screen and that our character died, but we can return to the main menu and start game. And since I didn't save, I'm going to start back at the beginning, but as you can tell, we are back in the game and ready to go.
I'm going to be talking about our level 3 maze design and its AI that come with it. So as soon as you pass through the level 2 doors all the way at the very bottom, you'll be greeted with this lovely maze here. And there's a chance that an enemy can spawn anywhere at all, and there's one right in front of us. So as you see, as my flashlight goes out, he's going to start chasing me down pretty fast. Now that my charge is back up, I can give a good stare at him and he'll stop moving. I'm going to wait a second for my flashlight to charge, and there's another one. There are multiple that will spawn randomly and continue to try to chase you through the map, and they can appear at any moment, at any place. So these two are still down here, and a good strategy if you're trying to maneuver around them is you bring them against this wall, keep a good light on them. We lost vision a little bit there, but then you're able to pass by as long as you're keeping sight on them the whole time. Now if your flashlight goes out, they will immediately start chasing, and there's nothing you can do about that. The big challenge here in this maze is being able to avoid these guys while keeping vision on them and trying to figure out where you are. So I'm going to talk a little bit about how we've set up our saves, because I'm not going to be able to finish this maze here. I'm going to go ahead and save the game. I already have a save named maze, so I'll do maze 2, because I want to come back to this later. And we'll go ahead, we'll save and return to menu. We'll put 2 saves down. So, maze 3. Now we're going to have maze 2 and maze 3 as our next files. Going to hit load save. You can pick either one, they're the same. And as soon as we load back in here, we'll be greeted, and these guys should still be right below us. And we'll keep progress in our game. These saves are set to be on the user's app data roaming file system, or file directory, so we're not making any new saves, we're not cluttering anything up, and I'm going to die here, but it just allows saves to be transferred no matter where you are across the local system, and you can pull them up whenever. That's all for level 3. If you get to the next level, then there's a puzzle waiting for you. So
Thanks for watching our video.
thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.
Thank you.